Welcome to Unmuted Podcast with our amazing host and author, Recia Kabbah. In a noisy world, we cut through the chatter, amplifying important voices. Are you ready for raw, unscripted stories that shape our daily lives? Well, on Unmuted, we tackle tough topics, challenge the norms, and share untold stories. Each episode, we bring in thought leaders, influencers, and everyday heroes for genuine conversations. It's not just a podcast. It's a platform for real, raw, expressive conversations. Get ready for the emotions, laughters, and most of all, the truth. Unmuted is more than just a show. It's a movement. So join us as we break the silence to embrace the power of honest dialogue. Welcome to Unmuted, where conversations are real.
Hello, guys. Welcome to Unmuted Podcast. This is Recia Kabbah. Today, I have two ladies joining me today, two beautiful ladies. We are going to be discussing our same conversation from last week, different people, different stories. So again, I just want to say welcome to Unmuted Podcast. I am your host, Recia Kabbah. Join us. Feel free to interact with us. Leave your comments, interact with the conversation. We are all in this together. So I'm going to introduce my first guest. She is the founder of International and Cultural Festival, dedicated to supporting the enhancement of education through diverse partners around the globe. Welcome, my beautiful sister, Renee. I'm sorry. Welcome, my beautiful sister, Michelle Zitoni. See, I'm mixing you up already.
No, my middle name is Renee, so it was just a blip.
Okay, guys, I have two people here, so don't pay me no mind.
Thank you for
anyway,
having me.
Hi, Michelle, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to sit here and be able to speak with you, but I'm doing pretty well. The weekend was good.
Okay, thank you for joining me today. I am excited. I am nervous. You ladies, I don't know. But I am excited to have you here. So I'm going to bring my other sister on now. She is the executive director and founder of Youth and Teen Renovations. She is no other than the beautiful Renee Wedges. Hey, girl.
Hi, guys. Hi, ladies. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. You guys could have been anywhere else today, but you chose to spend the evening with me, and I appreciate you all. And so this is Unmuted. Feel free at home. We discuss, personal issues. We are not by no means professionals in these areas, but we are just sharing our own our own personal stories so that, we can help other people that probably been through it or haven't been through it, just to keep an eye out there, supporting one another. So our conversation today will continue from last week. We had a divorce segment last week. So we are just going to continue that again this week with you ladies. And I'm excited to continue this conversation because so many of us are going through things. So many of us we're just not talking about it, know. And talking about it is part of the healing process. And so every time I have to address those issues, I'm like, damn, so many people are going through it. Even if it's been like 5, 6, 7 years ago, the point is, at some point you felt that and your story could just help somebody else. So yeah, how are you guys doing so far?
I'm good. I'm doing good.
Okay.
The healing process has been wonderful to me.
Okay. So I have a question for you, Miss Renee. Can you share some of your experiences from going through divorce and how you have been able to manage that so far?
Yeah, well, for me, having to go through a divorce was a shock. I mean, I don't think any woman plans for it, but what I'm saying is it just kind of came out of nowhere, right? Like the marriage just did like a 360 after 10 years, right? Everything was, a normal marriage, general issues and things like that. But nevertheless, we were happily in love, right? So I thought, it just, I don't know, slowly the marriage started to deteriorate, right? Meaning the love was gone, the passion, paying attention, the togetherness, that bond, it started to disintegrate, right? So I'm seeing this happen. And as any wife would, you try to fix it, right? What's going on? What can I do? How are you? Are you feeling okay? So I was dealing with seeing my marriage disintegrate at the same time, also dealing with one of my favorite jobs ever. I was a director at a Boys and Girls Club. One of my favorite jobs of my life. You know what I mean? So at that time, I'm like literally losing the club and I'm seeing my marriage. I had a lot of pain going on at that time in my life. And how I dealt with it, once we get past all the tears and the confusion, I want to be honest, I dealt with it by literally accepting it. Like I sat down and I said, this is really happening. Like I've tried everything, letters, phone calls, texts, anything that I could do, crying, pleading, what's happening? Why are we changing? What's going on? I literally sat myself down and I said, Renee, this is real. And the first part to me healing was literally accepting it. I'm like, okay, this is really happening. What am I going to do next? So I think once I put myself in that mindset, I didn't really have too much time to cry and stay in that ball of depression. I didn't. I had moves to make, right? Because now my life is changing and I'm either going to change with it or I'm going to be stuck in this ball of depression. And now my health is deteriorating. My mental health is deteriorating and I'm lost. I chose not to do that. Honestly, true story. So what I did was I started just getting closer to my God. It was no one other than God that helped me get through all of what I'm going to share tonight. I just decided it was acceptance and God. That's how I got through to sit where I am today in this world of peace, because that's actually where I am. I'm very much at peace.
Yeah.
So that's to answer that question. That's how. Accepting it and going to the Lord with my concerns and my fears and everything else that was going on in my brain at that time.
Yeah. Okay. Michelle, you have anything for that question? If not, I can take on.
Well, I was the initiator of my divorce. So I guess I handled things a little bit differently. I think my ex-husband was in Renee's position, honestly. I mean, looking back, something I had to accept about myself. I was becoming distant. I was becoming unattentive, more focused on my career than the marriage. Just to look back as far as, that perspective now, 11 years later, or 13 years later, I had to think about that. But after a lot of growth and stuff, I got to that point where I said, oh crap, I think it might've been me. But as far as the way I dealt with it, I think honestly, I was in denial for a very long time. We got divorced. I moved back to Pennsylvania where my family is. When I was living with my ex, I was in Atlanta. And when I came home, I just kind of repressed everything and just went on party mode. And then that was over. And then I went on a like crazy work mode. And I remember talking to him in 2019. And that was when I finally felt it. That was when I was like, oh, it's actually over. And I stayed in my bed for like 3 days and cried and kind of went through that point. But it took me all the way up into that point because I just kind of suppressed everything. I had just looked at it from a logical perspective. So I don't think I really got through it at first. If I had to answer that question, I didn't get through it. I got into meaningless relationships and worked my butt off. And that's how I dealt with it, which was definitely not healthy. And then you know, like I said, when I talked to him, that's when I dealt with it. And I finally came to the point of acceptance of, you know, we're never going to be together again. That is a different type of love because we're married, you know, very young. So you're a lot less biased when you're younger. Now, you know, you're older and you're thinking, okay, well, what's your credit score? You know, how many babies moms do you have? You know, all these things. Like,
Right.
I think about that at 22. It was like, he was a good man. He had a good work ethic. You know, and now dating is just like so many different things. So I think it was more like accepting it. So like after I finally accepted it, I think the shock set in of like, holy cow, this dating game is crazy out here. You know, I think that was the worst part is realizing that even though it wasn't going to work between me and him because we did have different goals and we grew apart, I had let go of something good. So.
So that's interesting that you said that. This is why different perspectives, different experiences. You know,
yeah, it's not always the men. You know, it's not always the men.
Because, like Renee said, you know, she saw hers like it was like she wake up one day, just like your life changed, right? I can say the same for me, but for you, sometimes people just grow out of relationship. You know, you just know it's not working. And, you know, but the hardest part, even though we know something is not working, we are afraid to let go because we are human and we don't know what's to come next. So we are afraid of change. You know, we are afraid of the change. So we try to make things work by all means possible. And your gut is telling you this is not it. You can even feel it that this person is not the same anymore. You know, sometimes people are mature enough to just tackle the issue and be like, you know what? Yes, you know, we can be friends, you know, we can go separate because this is not working. But it's accepting, you know, the acceptance is the problem. Letting something go. We never, even if you don't like somebody that much, you still don't want to let them go.
Right.
You know, that's the whole thing. It's just a human thing. So that's where growth come in, you know, and it's good for you to say that because divorce is not always a bad thing for everybody. You know, sometimes we stay in relationships and we are not happy.
Yeah.
You know, you just there just for the name, just for, okay, maybe we have family, you know, we have children, we have properties, but we just don't find ourselves with that person. Is over, you know. And so we have to be honest with ourselves and just sometimes let things go. It's okay. It's okay. It's different if one person wants it, another person don't want it, and it becomes so toxic, and or somebody cheating on somebody. You know, it can be many other reasons. But this is why I said it would be good for you to come on, because you don't have a disturbing story of your divorce, right?
No,
I tell you mine, you'd be like, oh Lord.
Yeah.
We all can say divorce, but different meanings. You know, we all have experiences. So that is very good for us to share the different experiences. For me, like Renee said, it's kind of similar. I woke up one day and my whole life changed. You know, because you meet this person, and I love relationship. I love marriages. I don't know if it's the whole olden days thing with me. I just believe in love, and I put my whole life into it. I just put my whole stuff into it. I'm blind.
Yeah.
You know, I don't see nothing else but what's in front of me. And so for you to give all of that to someone who claimed they love you and they're in love with you, and for me, it wasn't that many years. You know, that's the part about it. I think we were still in the honeymoon time because we were married for only 3 years. You know, we're still like young, very young.
Right. Wow.
And, you know, so for this person to take you and put you on the pedestal, you know, make everybody believe they love you, make you believe they love you, and then make 360 on you 3 years later. It's like, damn, who this person? You know, why did you say you love me? Why did you say you want life with me? You know,
right.
So it was traumatizing, and it was bad to the point that it muted me. This is why we have unmuted.
I like that. Right.
Yes.
It's part of the reason we have unmuted, because
Right.
my situation muted me to a point where I just became silent. I just disappeared from the face of the earth.
Wow.
No social media. I wasn't telling family nothing. The good thing about it, I don't have family, like close family in Jersey. I have like close friends, but when people check on me, I'm fine. So they don't know I'm going through this divorce, and I'm walking out looking the same. I'm not telling nobody nothing. He's not telling nobody nothing.
Mm-hmm.
We are both just going through this misery, dealing with the legal aspect of it, dealing with the both of us who wants, because everybody wants to win at the end of the day, so it was very dark for me. It was a dark place for me, and I don't wish it on my worst enemy. It scares me to the point that I don't even want to take a chance on marriage again, because I'm like, damn, yeah. It's kind of like destroy me in a way, because I'm like, the things that I felt then, I don't want to feel that again. I don't know if there's a different way to put this, but it kind of put me in a place where I'm so
wow.
I mean, can I interject here?
Yeah.
I'm very sorry to interject on this, but I mean, look, you're talking to the person who took a very long time to go to therapy and find out that I was completely emotionally unavailable since like 1984. And half the people that I loved were just really bodies. So like, I completely understand. I definitely didn't believe in love. My dad abandoned my mom when I was 13. It set me on a whole path of like fear of abandonment and cheating and all this other craziness. But I think you should give yourself some time to grow in that, because now you're putting yourself in a position where you're blocking your own opportunities, right? And that's something that, I learned in therapy and also through prayer and going to seek counsel through some of my spiritual leaders. You don't want to block yourself from opportunities. That wasn't the time. Maybe that wasn't the time for you guys, or maybe that wasn't the right person for you, or, maybe he hadn't grown up enough within himself to know and understand what he wanted, and it had nothing to do with you, and we have to account for that sometimes when we're talking about divorces and breakups. Sometimes it's just a misalignment, and sometimes it's just people who don't know what they want. Even me, like I wasn't sure when I left my ex-husband what I wanted. So how can I know what I want with you, and I don't know what I want for me? Right. It really literally had nothing to do with him. And I'm not saying that that's the case for your ex. It's just, don't block yourself from the opportunity of finding love again. And, having that feeling, you never know what could happen with that.
And I want to piggyback off that.
Like my ex remarried and he's perfectly happy. I'm kind of still focused on business, which he probably if he ever sees this, he's probably like, really, you're still working? He's still just
I want to piggyback off of that as well, because Michelle,
please,
you're right.
So.
Michelle, I like what you said. You're right. Lisa, don't. You know why? Because I realized for myself, I said that. I was like, I do not want to get married again. I'm done. But I did not give up on love, right? It's just that this time, instead of, a lot of times, and I'm going to speak for myself. I don't think that I chose for the right reasons, right? I'm like, oh my God, he's funny. Oh my God, he's cool. Nobody talked about, right? Aging, retirement, the goals, right? Morals, ethics,
right?
Yeah,
right. It's just like, oh my God, he's so cool. We collaborated out of toxin, right?
Here you have it, hon.
There's a lot of that too, right? We're choosing for the wrong reasons, right? And then we're signing documents, lifetime documents, right? Without even really having had established a true correlation between the two, right? Now we're not even on the same page, but yet I signed this paper. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My husband and I were total opposites. After my eyes opened, I'm like, wait, oh my God. Because in essence, I do want to share this part. This was something that happened to where I was like, oh my God, I got to get out of this marriage. Michelle, stop laughing.
I'm sorry.
But look, guys.
I've been there.
Girl.
I look back and I'm like, So dramatic.
She said, I gotta get out.
Yes, I'm gonna tell you because, and I want to put this out there, and I want other women to really hear what I'm saying, right? Because again, I'm very serious about what I say. We don't really, not we as in all women, but for the most part, we're joining in these relationships because of something of insignificance, really. I'm being honest, right? He's cute, he got money, he's funny, he's this, he did that. But are we really getting with these partners for the core values in them? That's what I lacked in doing, right? There were red signs. Hello.
Yeah.
Renee was, I didn't see it. I'm like, oh, you know, my husband's really horrible with finances. He's horrible. But that's okay. I'm good at it. So I try to, you know what I mean? Use
balance it out. Right.
Yeah, I try to use the scale, balance it out. But nevertheless, this is when, seriously, guys, things got real for me. I was in a situation where I couldn't work, right? Literally could not work. So now we're waiting on what? Unemployment at that time. And we just moved. And at that time, my husband did have a decent job. He was able to take care of us. And I'm here to tell you, he did not. And we, at that time, it was winter. We needed heat. We needed things. And he literally had no fear for lack of losing things. He didn't care. Because in his head, he already knew, oh, please, she'll just call her family. We'll be fine. She's going to call her family. But that's the night that I said to myself, wait a minute, I'm in my 50s and you're telling me I married a man who's not going to take care of me. This is the first time I've been down in the 12 years we've been together. He's been down numerous times and I've made sure that everything he needed was there. So the one time I'm down, I cannot work, we're waiting on Renee's unemployment, he showed me that he would not take care of me. That was bigger than any other red flag that could have ever hit the marriage.
Yeah. All
right. Because I cannot age with a man that's not going to take care of me. That's very frightening for me at my age. That's not what I need. I don't. So I knew then that was time for me to leave. The second thing that absolutely made me leave was now, ladies, I'm becoming very frantic and stressed out about our bills. He's not helping me. So now I've developed anxiety, right? I'm getting chest pains, pain down the arm, headaches. I can't, you know what I mean? So so when we went to the hospital, I'm never going to forget. I laid there because now they're running all these tests on me, all these tests on my heart. I'm beyond scared. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, it's getting worse. I'm already out of work. And now I might have a heart problem. That's the time that I laid there and I prayed to my God. And I prayed, Father God, if I am healthy, I'm going to leave this marriage. Literally. So needless to say, yes, glory be to God. The results came back. I was healthy. My heart was fine. They said, Miss Wiggins, you're stressed. That's too much for me. To have a man have me in an emergency room for anxiety and then have a man that's not even going to take care of me. That was enough for me to seal the dot. That was it. And that's when I asked for my separation and it led from there. So that was my, go ahead.
No, that's a very important point you just raised right now, because sometimes we can be in relationship with someone for years. Everything is going great. So you never get to see the strength of that person if something goes wrong.
Right.
You know, so this is why we don't pray for bad things to happen, but sometimes you need those challenging moments to know your partner, to really see this person got my back, if he or she will have my back when I don't have a job today. Because things happen. You know, will he be able to cover up? Will she be able to cover up? Most of the times, and I'll give this to women, most of the times we pick up the pieces.
Yes.
You know, it's easy for us to just take everybody's problem and just put it on our shoulder and we just figure it out. But men, a lot of men are not good in that area. I'm not generalizing this because it won't be fair, because you have men that will, you know, stand up and do the right thing. But I'm just saying, even females, at times you're going through something, they might just leave you because they can't take that hardship. So it's both ways. And sometimes we have to experience things before we can know who we really with. So that's very important. So just because you're in a good relationship and everything going good don't mean that this person is gonna have your back. It can be 30 years later and you find out that he's not gonna be the one.
Yeah.
Take care of you at that point. And like you said, it's a scary moment to find out I'm with someone all these years and he won't be able to take care of me when I get, when I need to be, So that's very important for people to pay attention to.
Yeah.
I'm not saying go cause problem just to see something. Don't go causing problem with that man just to see if he love you. But
it's important to know, ladies. You really need to know.
Pay attention. And
yes.
To piggyback a little bit on what both of you said about my fear, yes, I agree. I need to, first of all, I need to give myself grace because I went through a lot and I'm still here.
Yes.
And those days when I thought I would take my own life away, I hate it. Trust me, I hate that life. Okay, I feel like God first and my children got me sitting here today, because when you read my book, it will tell you I experienced my own problem with not having a mother in my life and not having a father. So all my life, I pretty much, call myself a motherless child. Even though I had someone who stepped in to help me out, and she's my mother and all of that, but your own biological mother cannot be compared to anybody else. So me experiencing that type of life, I don't want to inflict that on my children.
Right.
So every time I thought of suicide, I thought, damn, you of all people should know how it feels to not have a mother. Why would you do that to your own children? But I had to have God in me for me to even have that thought, because when you're in those dark places, you don't really think, you just do things, right? So for me to even go to that level of having such a knowledge not to do something, I knew that God was with me, and my story was only for me to experience something that I can help other women to look out for the sons, So yes, I'm not gonna give up on love. I think that I only been like a year and some few months since I got divorced, and so I'm still new, and I believe that time heals, right? Time heals. So I just pray to heal from this thing, because it is a roller coaster for me. 1 minute I'm like, all right, Recia, it's time, it's fine, just move on with life, and I'm like, damn, I can't even trust nobody, because you trusted somebody before and they fail you. But it is what it is.
You have to learn to trust yourself again too, and that's something that we'll have to talk about that in a whole nother time period. I do think being able to trust yourself is the most important, because in the back of your mind you're like, man, I made a bad judgment, or but how many times have we picked the wrong job and not cried about it?
Right.
And I'm not trying to compare a husband to a job. I mean, unfortunately, sometimes depending on who that husband is, it could be the same thing.
It is a job.
It is a job, girl.
I said depending on who it is. But I do think that, a lot of times we forget to forgive ourselves. And, when you get to that point and you forgive yourself and you say, you know what, I made a mistake. Take accountability for that mistake and learn to trust people again in a different way. When you're setting healthy boundaries, when you're looking for red flags, when you're maintaining those boundaries and, seeing how people operate, that will give you back the ability to trust yourself, at least in my perspective.
Right. Okay.
I think I'm with Recia a little bit. I don't really. I have trust issues now.
I didn't say I don't trust people. I never said that. I was just giving her hope, man.
Right.
Yeah.
That was one of those I'm gonna power her, but I'm kind of down moment.
I think after certain situations, we all have that trust issue, but to what level? We can all have that trust issue, but to what level? I think mine is like million degrees level. My trust issue is like, don't tell me you love me, I'm done with you. I'm not talking to you again because I feel like you're lying to me. Don't tell me let's go on a date. I feel like you full of, fill in the blank. I'm just not giving nobody a chance. Michelle's dying.
I mean,
because like post-divorce, I was like somebody the heck else completely different than you. And now I'm that person from something else that had nothing to do with my divorce.
oh my God.
It's just funny. Like I actually had zero trust issues when I left me and my husband split. And that didn't even happen till later.
Right.
Oh, wow.
These things are real. This is real out here. All right. So we
It
just
is.
have to, you live, you learn. You know, you
Mhm.
live, you learn. You just pray that God will send you the right person to be happy with and to trust because it's very hard trusting these days, you know, because
Yeah.
people will flip on you in a second, but we can't live in fear. We cannot live in fear. I'm young. I can't go my whole life and say I can't be in a relationship. Like, what? But I have to take my time. That's all, you know. I have to take my time. So, all right, moving on. We kind of answered the second question that I had into this first one. So I'm gonna just move on to this one. For you both, ladies, looking back, what advice would you give to someone starting over again after a divorce?
Ooh.
Anyone can take that.
No, Michelle ready. She ready.
No, I'm not. I'm like, I was the
right.
worst example of starting over. I moved halfway across the country, totally changed industries. Didn't take anybody I dated seriously for. Dang, man. I'm sorry, guys, if you're watching this.
Oh my God.
I ain't gonna lie, but I had to find out later it wasn't them, it was me.
Right.
I just was emotionally unavailable for about 15 years or so.
Wow.
Okay. Which I'm like the little Grinch. I was telling my therapist, I'm like the little Grinch where like the heart is like kind of growing. It's like,
Yeah.
I feel it. I'm like, oh, I felt that. So I think the best advice that I could give is, opposite of how I handle things, really deal with it. You know, sit in it, you know, don't repress it, don't push it down, you know, but don't also, you know, there's a balance there of not like getting too involved with the sorrow of it all. But as far starting new, you have to make sure that, you know, you're whole again. You know, I think a lot of people start off and they start new and they don't realize that they haven't gotten themselves whole all the way. So I think it's really important to take time for yourself, get back to yourself, find out that new version. I remember the first time I went grocery shopping and I was like, what does Michelle eat? Like, what do I eat? Like, I don't know. Because it's buying for both of us for a decade. So really, truly go on that self-discovery. Take a solo trip, you know, road trip with your girls or boys, you know, men, whoever. I think it's really important to get that reset going by discovering who you really are and what you really want and getting to a very healthy version of you to where you know what you're going to tolerate, you know what you want, and then you can move forward and whatever's coming to you will come when you're on that path.
Okay. Renee?
Yeah, actually, Michelle literally said what I was going to say. It is very important after a divorce, you know, you have to put that time into yourself. You cannot, you know, we can't let that fear of loneliness cause us to make another, you know, bad decision, right? It's lonely and it can be scary, but as Michelle stated, we have to focus on ourselves first. Right? We have to, first of all, completely heal. So I think it's very important that a woman that's in our shoes, a divorcee, please, ladies, take the time for yourself. Get to learn yourself again, fully heal, because you don't want to take anything that you've gone through in your past marriage into a new healthy relationship, right? Because we do that as well. We bring forth the baggage. Now we're ruining something that could have potentially been a great relationship, but we're still not healed. So we're stuck. So I'm kind of like, when I say I don't trust, I don't, but I don't put it outwardly. You know what I mean? Because I have to give every person a chance, right? I have healed, but healing is like Michelle said, putting that time in getting to know yourself. And for me, it was vital that I built my relationship with my God, right? Because I'm very spiritual, very religious. I had to do that. I could not put anything or anyone above that, right? That's what helped me get through the process. My God first, and just like learning myself, because I realized, oh my God, I don't like the television on at night. I found, yes, Michelle, I found just
So
how
much
much,
stuff.
yes, how much I compromised in those 12 years. And I'm like, oh my God, Renee doesn't even, I compromised so much, you ladies. It's really, I was kind of mad at myself, like, Renee, you don't even like doing that. Renee, you don't even speak that way. What are you doing? What were you doing? But that was me being in that toxin of what I thought was real love.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You know, and in relationship, you have to give and take, right?
Yeah.
So we can't have things in common all the time. We're gonna have some things that we have to compromise. So when you said that, it hit home because I don't like, you know, sleep in dark rooms. I always like to leave my TV on. But my ex did not like to sleep with lights on. So I compromised that. And I slept in the dark because that's what he liked, right?
Right.
So we do those things. So after the divorce, I'm like, oh, okay, you can now have what you want.
Right.
You know, like you just said, when we start to talk to ourselves as the second person, like, damn, Recia, why did you know this is you like this, you don't like that. You know, that's the reality to say, you know what, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. So I have a question here from one of our people I'm gonna put on the screen. And you ladies, we all can answer. Sabrina Baker, she said, do you ladies have advice for the first few weeks of divorce? How do you manage financial issues in the beginning and the feeling of one moment of feeling okay, then the next you feel an emotional wreck? Oh, Sabrina, girl, I'm gonna take this first.
I was who's taking it.
So this is really interesting, Sabrina, because I can tell you, I don't know if it's an advice, but this right here can be very tricky individually, you know, individual differences. But for the most part, the in and out emotions is going to travel with you for a little while.
Yes.
One day you find yourself okay, and the next day you just find yourself depressed. You know, it is all part of the process. You know, accepting this new life, accepting this new form of place where you are now. When it comes to financial, like you mentioned, you have to now redo everything again. You know, I have to now pick up a mortgage that I wasn't paying in that marriage, right? You know, all those years I wasn't worried about no mortgage. I had my money and I did what I wanted to do with it. Mortgage wasn't my thing. So now I had to pay mortgage. I have to pay the bills that I was paying. So those new things, and some days you sit down and you look at yourself and maybe you're watching a show or TV show that you used to watch with your partner, right? And it hit home. Like, I'm watching this by myself, and you find yourself just tearing. You know, you find yourself like very depressed, and you find yourself in a place where you feel like, damn, what did I do wrong? Or you just feel isolated. You just feel that emotions. It is all a part of this whole thing. This is why I say I hate divorce. I hate divorce. I don't like the feelings that comes with it, you know. And it's not a one day thing. It's a, you know, it's like you're going to school all over again. You're waiting to graduate. You know, you're just waiting for that moment where you can put everything behind you and just be yourself. I used to pray to God and be like, God, I just want to be myself again. You know, I don't want this thing over my head. I just want to be myself. I don't want to think about him. I don't want nothing to do with him. I just want to be me again. So do things, self-love, self-care, you know, take care of yourself, your mind, you know, take care of your emotions, take care of your physical being, you know, do some things that can fill in that gap, you know, find new habits, you know, that will make you happy. Something that will, you know, take place in your head so you don't have to think about your problems so much, because this too shall pass. You know, it's not a forever thing. So I would just say, pray about it and accept that it is real. And now you have those pieces to pick up and embrace them. When we start to embrace our situations, then we start to target it much better. rather than feeling sorry for ourselves. So ladies, take on.
So I have, hi Sabrina, thank you for chiming in with your question. I would suggest for the first few weeks, especially with the financial part, it's rough. Okay, I'm not gonna lie to you. What you want to do is start budgeting, put that budget together, and if need be, you want to consult with a financial advisor, right, to help you put all your finances in perspective and in priority, right? We already know mortgages first. We got to pay the mortgage. But that is something I just wanted to share with you. Okay, budgeting, financial advising, if need be, right? Because for myself, I had to go back to work. I wasn't even working. Okay, so finances are a huge, huge issue in divorce. And now currently I'm working full time. So it's a lot to go with that, right? For myself, I agree with Recia, the emotions will come and go. Just when you thought you've mastered it, right? And you've collected everything and you're good, something will remind you of it, right? Now, this is what Renee did. I'm not asking that other women do this because it's not an easy thing to do, but this is how my mind operates. I took down all the photos in the home. Let me tell you, for me, I felt like, why am I hanging? This is not a happy home. So I don't need to see the photos, right? I'm being honest, ladies. I deleted everything out my phone. Yes, 12 years worth of photos gone. I don't need it.
24 hours of deleting photos.
Girl. So, you know, you want to, because we're working on healing. We can't heal if we're going to keep looking at what hurt us, right? So that was my rationale to it. I'm like, all right, that's it with the photos. And there's nothing in my home that belongs to my husband.
And that's a great point she just made.
Yes.
That's a great point. Because I kind of did that, especially if you stay in the same home that you was with this person. Because I stay in my same home, right? So everything in the house still reminds you of that person. So what I did, I spent some money now, but that I did not want to spend. But I pretty much like changed things around. I threw away pillows. I threw away accent rocks. I threw away stuff and made it my own. So nothing, you know, I removed all the photos and I blew most of my photo up and I put them all over the place. You enter my heart, you like, damn, this is a gallery? Like, why are you all over the place?
That's right. That's right.
I sure did.
That's
and my
right.
son was like, Mommy, why did you get your picture all over? Because this is me now. This is my house. You know, when I wake up, I see myself. When I go to sleep, I see myself. You know, just to remind myself of me again and who I used to be before this person. And, you know, I would look at myself like, you are the boss, man. You know, you go back to being that boss you was, you know, stuff like that. Do little things to motivate yourself. And less of thinking of them, you know, remove some things like we are saying, you know, just change your environment, do some things. You got to change your hairstyle to look different. Do that. Anything that build your confidence. You know, do something, take a trip, you know, find personal time, you know. So Michelle.
I was gonna say the only thing I have to add to that, you know, and you guys did a great job as far as like what I would say to get, you know, kind of deal with some of the emotions, and the financial advice was great. I wish I'd have met you like a while ago because I definitely didn't do that. I was running wild, man. I was like the post-divorce party girl. I was like not dealing with it at all. But one thing I will say is this, and this is no matter what you're going through, whether it's a divorce or, you know, a bad breakup or you lost your job, tap into that support system. Don't forget your village, man. They are here for you. A sister, a friend, a coworker that pats your back. You know, you have a support system of people that you can tap into that will help you get through some of those emotional time periods, whether they're listening to you cry, whether they're bad mouthing them, because, you know, you're going to do that just to get out the emotions, you know, whether he was good or bad or not. So I think it's definitely important to tap into that village because they will help you build that self-esteem back up, in addition to giving you some other methods on how, just like you're asking us, they're going to have their own methods on how they're dealing with certain things too. So that was my only add was to the support system. And I also wanted to comment that it isn't just Women that lose themselves in divorce and marriage and all that,
Absolutely.
Well, just, we say women, no, well, guys lose themselves too, man, and they're compromising and, they're getting hurt too. And even if it's, even if they end up being, maybe they are the bad guy, right? They're still hurting on the back end of that, at some point they will feel the guilt of how they treated you. And I mean, I would utilize that as a way to help get over it too, because they're going to feel bad later. But I just wanted to emphasize on that men suffer too in divorce, no matter what side.
Yeah, men do suffer, but they like to suffer in silence, and we most of the time.
Your ex did. I mean, good for you. Mine was like boohoo, crying, drunk, and calling me.
Yeah, some of them just be all over the place talking. You ain't ask them nothing; they're talking. Okay. They're telling you everything wrong about her, but not them.
Hello.
Dude, leave me alone about the new wife, okay? Please stop. Okay.
But wait, I want to add this though, ladies. Although we're going through this, we went through so much. The men did whatever they did, except for Michelle's case. But but I did seriously. All jokes aside, I want to express how important it is not to hate that man. Ladies, don't hate him.
You so bad, man. For what?
Do not
beat you up, man. For nothing.
You pray for him.
For nothing.
Pray for him. Don't hate him. I do not hate my ex-husband.
Oh no!
I speak to him. I make sure you're okay. Life is good. You're all right. I don't hate him because there's a lesson and a blessing in everything that we've gone through.
Yes.
Right. Mm-hmm. It's up to us to find out what that lesson was. Mm-hmm. Right. But the blessing is that we survived it.
Right.
Okay.
God doesn't kill you, make you stronger. It's
that's right.
It's a life lesson. I don't hate my ex. If I don't have any ill feelings towards this man, if I said this maybe 6 months after the situation, it probably would have been lying. I'm just lying. I just yeah. But now, my heels, guys, give me my grace.
I get it.
Because maybe a year ago, I'd be like, I hit him. He did this to me. He lied. He did that. It's, but I feel like you pray for the people that hurt you. Sometimes people hurt you. They don't even know how much hurt they have hurt you. And sometimes they are dealing with their own things, their own problems. Right. And it's not personal for you. Something Jason told me when I was going through my divorce, as I used to talk to her behind the scene, like nobody knew I was going through it, but she was one of those people always, around me and just held me like her little sister and just embraced me and showed me love that it's not over. And she said to me, I will forever remember this. She said, Recia, no, don't be so hard on yourself. You did not fail your marriage, okay? You did everything you should have done from what I hear and from what I'm saying. Your marriage failed you. So that hit me deep. And then I started to think, wow, it may seem simple, but it hit home at the time. I was like, damn, this is some gem she just dropped on me. I had to start believing, I wasn't a failure because I thought I failed. I failed at this, how my kids will look at me, how my family will think about me. I was putting all this pressure on myself, not realizing you can't make someone be in a marriage with you. Yeah. It takes two to want this. And if somebody decides to walk out of your life, let them go. Mm-hmm. Don't keep people in your life that has already been long gone. Mm-hmm. They are just there in the flesh, but their heart is not there.
That's true.
So when somebody tell you they don't want to be there, because that was one of my mistakes. Miss Sabrina, every one of us, that was one of my mistakes. I kept trying to make this work as if it did not work, it was the end of my life. Right. So it crushed me when it did not. And we have to let people go. When somebody tell you for the first time that I don't want to be here, it may not be personal with you. It may not be because of anything you did. And I heard that from him. You ain't do nothing. I can't really say, I'm leaving you because you are this bad, horrible person. But Like Michelle said, sometimes people just grow apart. Sometimes people just change their mind, whatever the case may be. And so I don't hate this person. I'm not bitter. I don't have nothing ill towards him. I actually pray for him. I actually keep in my prayer, God, and I learn a lot that I can take on to another relationship, and I feel like I can be the best that I've never been in my life, because I'm working on me a lot. So yes, you can't live like that. When people hurt you, let them deal with that themselves, because who's to judge, who's to judge? So great educational show. Thank you, Prince. Thank you. Yeah, so no hit over here. I'm healing as I go.
That's right. And guys,
I wanted to ask you though, like there's at the end of this, I have a poem that I would like to recite, and because we've been talking a lot about this particular subject, and I wrote a poem about this, and it's a part of the Glow program with Innistar, and we just incorporated it. And I would like to speak this to you in your audience, if you will allow me to do that.
Okay, no problem. One last thing.
I don't know about part. I have to read it. Sorry.
Say that again. Go ahead.
Oh no, I'm not gonna do it. I'm saying I have to read it. I was just letting you know, like I have to pull it up, and I'm not trying to be rude, but I got to put it on my phone.
Oh no, that's fine. After this, we can go into that. What has been your biggest takeaway from being married? What have been your biggest takeaway from being married? I think probably we touched on it a little bit, but yeah, this Renee.
I think marriage is
your biggest takeaway from being married.
Huh?
What has been your biggest takeaway from being married?
Well, one, I want to say I think marriage is a beautiful thing as long as you are married to someone that you guys are connected and going down the same street, right? So it can be a beautiful thing. My biggest takeaway is don't lose yourself for someone else. Do not find yourself in a situation where you're pouring more into something or someone and they're not pouring back, right? It should be equal, 50-50. And I'm talking feelings, emotions, things like that. I'm not talking money, but if you find that if you're not getting the same that you're giving, I think that as women, we should really, really be honest with ourselves and start taking a look at what we're doing and why are we doing it. So my biggest takeaway is that I will no longer lose myself for a man or for a relationship. I will not.
Yeah, any relationship. Yeah.
Yes.
Michelle?
Well, I was trying to think about it while she said it, but I mean, my direct answer, I just have to be honest, was I learned accountability. That was the biggest takeaway that I had from that was, learning to be accountable for my choices, learning to be accountable for the people I was choosing in my life, being accountable for myself, my own actions, what I did in my marriage and, what broke it down. And, so I think accountability was the number one lesson that I learned from that, honestly, because when we look back and we say, oh, you hear these stories about, oh, he did this or, oh, she did that or whatever. Well, where was your accountability in it? Even when you're in abusive relationships and, I've recently, unfortunately been in one and we'll talk about that next week. But you have to take accountability. You made the choices, you saw the signs, you probably ignored him anyway. We touched on that earlier. Oh, he was cool. He was charismatic and, the D was cool, whatever. And we weren't really looking at the choices that we were making. So it was a bad choice. It just wasn't the right choice for that time.
Right.
Yeah. For me, Renee said it all, not losing yourself, because I feel like I did lose myself at some point in my marriage. Because the person I was before this person, I was completely out of that, because I would say I gave up a lot. Because where I was in my life before this person, I had rebuilt my life from other situations, and I was just focusing on me and working on my dreams, just inspired to follow my acting career, being a model, even got signed to an agency, I mean, I was out here just living my life and raising my children. And so when the person came along, you know, sometimes, like I said earlier, we have to meet halfway, we have to give and take. And so to have that perfect relationship that we have in our head. And so I give away so much of myself, including financially, you know, so and trusted this person. So I have learned now to be who I am. If someone comes into my life, you meet me where I am, you help me from there. I'm not going to change anything. I'm not going to minimize my dreams. I'm not going to not look certain way. I'm not going to not work 3 jobs if I had 3 jobs, because that's how I'm comfortable living. So when I did all of those things and just brought myself to that level, just when I had all this dependence on him, I was now depending on him, I would say probably 75%. And then that's when he's like, all right, I'm gone, you know. So at that point, I'm falling flat. Like, what can I do now? You know, I'm going to have to start all over again. I'm going to have to find another job now, you know. So losing myself in our marriage, I pretty much did that. And that's something I have to learn now not to do. Just be me. And whoever comes along, help me to be better, or you just not me. Help me to be better. You should help me to be better.
Yes.
Better than what you met me, you know.
And it goes both ways, you know, when it comes to, like, you know, making me better. I want to make you better too. You know?
Yes, we should be making each other better. Now you telling me you can't do this. I don't want you to do this because I can take care of you, right? That's what people say. I can take care of you. I make enough to take care of you. I can do this for you. I can do that for you. You don't have to work 3 jobs. You don't have to. But when I leave all those jobs and focus on one and being a wife, then you walk out and leave me hanging, you know. So I have learned, you know, I learned a lot, trust me, from that last experience. That's why I say I don't carry any hate. I'm actually grateful for the life lesson, because it did not kill me, but it taught me a lot.
Yeah.
So okay. Wow, we covered it all. And so Michelle, go ahead and read your poem.
Okay. Well, one thing I noticed that we talked about is fear, right? Fear of loneliness, fear of, you know, and I wrote this poem a while ago about something completely different. It was actually when I started the festival, and I was petrified to do it because it was something I was doing on my own and all that. But I do have to read it. I'm still learning how to, or memorizing it. So I hope you enjoy. But it is titled Fear. Okay. Overwhelmed with fear, I remain silent. I plot on how to eliminate the threat. Once as open as a barnyard door, I draw back and seclude myself. I slam the door and put the windows down. The alarm has been reset. I have updated the passcode. The threat is gone. I should be safe now. But still, overwhelmed with fear, I remain silent. Evaluations go as deep as the ocean floor, analyzing decades of data only to discover the obvious. Reality is underneath the surface. The threat is me. My insecurities have a hold over me. My past haunts my present. I can't identify if it is torn scar tissue or if the wound never fully healed in the first place. So overwhelmed with fear, I remain silent. I find the true danger in fear is the fear itself, and I envy those who don't carry these burdens. Maybe it is my destiny to live in the shadows, to stay in my darkness and dodge the sunlight. While I sleep, I'll have one eye open as nightmares invade my dreams. Will I live a life of endless fear, never to be truly free? Now, overwhelmed with the desire to succeed, fear will remain silent.
Wow.
Yeah, man. Wow. But the point is,
okay,
you must not let fear overcome your desire to succeed, no matter what that's in. Right. Loneliness, you know, reach out to your village, right? That new job, apply for it.
Right.
So what if you don't get it? You're going to get what's meant for you. You cannot live in fear. And it's always good to have fear, but you cannot live in it. We're always going to be scared of something new, and that's normal. But don't live in it, and don't let it stop you from doing what you know is best for you.
Amen. Well, a nice way to end this one. So, ladies,
much love.
Thank you so much. And now I'm going to give you guys the opportunity to highlight whatever you do in the community, because you're both doing some awesome things. So please tell the people what you do, because I'm sure they will want to follow you, and you never know, So Renee, go ahead. Tell the people what you do, who you are.
Right. Hey guys, I am Miss Renee of Youth and Teen Renovations. We are a 501c3 nonprofit. We are for the Valley, but we're based in Allentown. We work with at-risk youth and teens as well as families. So follow us on Instagram, YT Renovations. Follow us on Facebook, Youth and Teen Renovations. And stay tuned for our YouTube channel. Looking forward to seeing you guys.
Okay, that's her information on the screen, guys. So screenshot it. Follow her. She's doing great things with the kids in the community. What a great way to show your love and just being somebody in the community that the kids can look up to. Thank you so much, Miss Renee, and thank you for being here. The conversation was great, and I would love to have you back again.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yes, I'm gonna go to Miss Michelle. Tell people.
I don't know if I could beat the elevator pitch though, Dag. Great job today. Well, I am the founder and CEO of the International Cultural Festival, which is the only all-inclusive diversity festival in Allentown. September 22nd, J. Bernie Crumb. We have over 20 performers. We have an international fashion show. It is a safe space to celebrate all and is for all. Yes. My other venture is International Cultural Exchange Program, in which we teach K through 12 students arts and restorative practices from Allentown to Liberia and beyond. We have students online learning all these different programs simultaneously. So it's been a good time. Yeah. But all in all, come out to the festival on 9/22, J. Bernie Crumb. That's the biggest part.
22nd, your girl will be there.
I'll be there.
Yes, Michelle is going to Liberia. I'm from Liberia. So
yes.
I'm excited about this. I might have on that trip,
Yes, we're doing a whole give back party in December 2025. I'm so excited to be able to be on that level. Yeah, that's amazing. I'm super excited. Thank you for that.
Yes, all boss ladies doing their thing, serving the community.
Yes.
This is why I love you guys, because everybody's doing something positive, Together we can really break the barriers. So thank you so much. I would like to give a shout out to my sis, Jason Heldam, the CEO and founder of Inner Star Trailblazer Awards. This woman is taking Arlington to a whole nother level.
Yes.
She's actually my partner in the festival. I just want to state that for the record. She is a festival partner and has been a supporter since 2018.
Right.
Nice.
Yeah.
Supports causes that are great. I just want to say that.
I don't know if she sleep. This woman don't sleep. She's working her sleep. So I just want to give her a shout out, because she's one of my great friends and sisters and business partner, everything. And so Star Trailblazer Award is October 12th. If you haven't gotten your ticket, please go get it at Jason on Facebook. Get your ticket. Star Trailblazer Award is one of the shows you do not want to miss. All right. She's bringing everybody from around the world, from California, from you name it, like everybody. She bringing stars, and she just launched her movie. We just went to
Love
After Holidays.
Yes.
Love After Holidays will be coming out soon. You will find it on your big screen. So I am excited for her. She's doing great things. And so I just wanted to give her a shout out. And I want to give a shout out to Brianna Ofusu. She's the owner of Bella & Co. Beauty. I am trying her jewelry today. So I just wanted to bring that out. If you need to buy some fashionable jewelries, Bella & Co. Beauty, you can find her there, order your stuff, and tell her I sent you. Tell her Unmuted sent you so I can get my discount. All right. And of course, I'm not going to forget myself. Unmuted, collection on RiciaBoutique.com. Check me out. Unmuted. We go. All right. So, ladies, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I had so much fun with y'all. Y'all going to come back. I know Michelle is coming back. And Miss Renee, you are welcome to come back anytime.
Yes.
You know, this is
Yes,
a
thank you.
sisterhood. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you
Yes,
so much for being here, and you guys have a great rest of your night.
You too. All
You
right,
too,
bye.
guys. Good night, ladies. Mwah. Mwah.
Bye. Okay, guys. What a beautiful show. Boy. The topic was great. If you still have any questions, you can send us your messages. We will be able to read them on our next episode. So feel free to leave us your questions. If you watch this show and you have any question, just shoot us your questions. We're going to read them for our next Sunday show next week. All right. So thank you so much for tuning in with us today. For everyone that sent us your messages, thank you. For the ones that we was able to respond to, and any message that we did not get to, we will get to it on our next sitcom. So thank you so much again. I am your host, Recia Kabbah. This is Unmuted Podcast. Good night. Love y'all.